Welcome to Wild Animal Wednesday. We're going to travel all around the world at each of the 7 continents, discovering the reptiles and amphibians that live on each one.
Wait a minute. There's only amphibians on 6 of the continents.
Oh, that's right. There aren't any on Antarctica. Good one, Alexis. So we'll be visiting 6 of those continents to learn the amphibians and reptiles. Today we're actually going to go to South America and deep into the rainforest. We're going to learn about the emerald tree boa. We actually have 2 books we're going to be reading today and kind of sharing some facts with you. The first one is Emerald Boas, Rainforest Undercover by Catherine Nichols.
Amazing Snakes, Emerald Tree Boas by Emily Rose Oakes.
Here's some facts about these books, and then afterwards we're going to draw the emerald tree boa. Let's get reading.
Let's learn facts about reptiles. Fact 1. All reptiles breathe with lungs. Fact 2. All reptiles have dry, scaly scales. Fact 3. All reptiles are cold-blooded.
The emerald tree boa lives in the rainforest in South America. Here's a great map to show exactly where they live. And up right here is actually the Amazon rainforest, where so many amazing creatures live. Now, the emerald tree boa actually spends his whole life in the trees. He eats, sleeps, and hunts right here in the trees of the rainforest. During the day, the emerald tree boa sleeps coiled up in a tree just like this and really doesn't move for most of the day. But at nighttime, the emerald tree boa gets hungry and he's ready to hunt for mice, bats, and lizards. He lays very still in the tree, waiting for his next victim. The emerald tree boa has very sharp teeth, and they're kind of hooked back a little bit so the prey can't escape. The emerald tree boa does not chew its food. It actually eats it whole, and it can take up to a whole week to digest. The emerald tree boa actually does not have very many predators, except for this harpy eagle that swoops in the emergent layer looking for this emerald tree boa. Luckily, because of the coloring of the emerald tree boa, they are able to camouflage quite well in the trees of the rainforest. On to my favorite part, the babies. So as we mentioned, the emerald tree boas do spend most of their life up in the trees. And in fact, the females will give birth up in the trees as well. Now, most reptiles do actually lay eggs, but there are some snakes, including the emerald tree boa, that will have a live birth every 2 years, and they'll have between 10 and 20 live snakes. The emerald tree boas are not born green like their parents. Instead, they're born orange, and they'll start to grow little green flecks on their skin. By the time they're 1 year old, they'll be fully green and can camouflage in the rainforest.
Emerald tree boas can grow up to 9 feet tall. That's way taller than I am or even Daddy. See, we're coiling a canopy. The emerald tree boa coils in the canopy all day long. The emerald tree boa has a strong tail. Strong tail helps them balance in the trees. Sometimes the emerald tree boa can't hide, so then the harpy eagle swoops down and eats it. Ah! Because they have slits in their eyes, they can see very well at night.
Now that we've learned about the emerald tree boa,
Let's draw it.
Alexis has her My Animal Notebook, which is part of the 3rd grade curriculum from Abeka, or you can just use any solid white paper and it'll work. You ready to draw?
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's do it. Now let's go ahead and draw. So as you can see, I have my blank white paper, and then Alexis, where she's using her My Animal Notebook with the Abeka curriculum, and on the one side it has the reptiles, it kind of has some nice coloring and clip art, and then she wrote down all her facts about the emerald tree boa, and then on the left side she's going to be able to draw her emerald tree boa. So let's go ahead and start, right? I'm going to start with actually making my little branch, and I'm going to actually make my emerald tree boa all coiled up just chilling in the daytime. So I'm going to use that kind of as my guide there. So I'm going to draw first a branch kind of coming across the middle of the page here. We'll kind of gotta draw the other side over here. And I'm going to put my little emerald tree boa right in the middle there. So I won't have the branches go quite all the way in quite yet. So the first coil is just going to start off like an upside down rainbow. Or it could be a smiley face. What else do you think it looks like?
It also kind of looks like a banana.
Yeah, it does a little bit.
A banana that really got smushed.
Now what we're going to do is we're actually not going to connect this first coil yet. We're actually going to draw our second coil first. So we're going to draw this coil, and it's going to kind of overlap this coil. And you don't want them perfectly round because the snake does have a little bit of, you know, movement to him as well. And then let's go ahead and draw his face to see how many more coils we can fit in. So with the face, we're going to draw like kind of two little bumps on the top of their head, and then it's a little bit of like a soft rounded triangle look to their little snout. Almost it looks like a little bit of a heart too. And then you're going to draw like two curves to make their nostrils, two little dots for their nostrils. And there's their face, their little mouth with their mouth closed tight. Because remember, they are nocturnal hunters. They just chill during the day. And they have these really beady eyes, so just like a little sliver on their eyes, but like a little beady eye. Now we'll go ahead and finish the coil. So let's do the internal coil here that'll be kind of around their face. And then we'll draw, this is like the creases where the coil will kind of smush up. It looks like we can fit one more coil, doesn't it? So we'll put one more coil in here.
You would think that the emerald tree boa would just get bored sitting in the trees all day.
Mm-hmm. And we need to even have room for one more coil. Well, no, because that's actually their sleeping time. So you know how like we lay in our bed all night?
Mm-hmm.
So that's what the emerald tree boa is. They actually sleep all in the treetops all day long. They're busy at night. So then we're just going to connect our branches back.
I'm almost nocturnal.
Yeah, you are, aren't you? And then I want you to just take a nice really look at the scales. And in fact, this picture really shows the scales a lot better. You can see the scales are like diamond shaped, and it has these little patches of like white diamond shaped scales all along his body. So we're going to go ahead and draw those white diamond shaped scales. And they're just like in some random patches all around their body. And it's also fun to color these too. And if you were to color it as an adult, what colors would you choose?
Green.
That's right, a nice bright green for the adults. But let's say you wanted to draw yours to be a baby. What color would the babies be?
Orange.
Mm-hmm. Kind of like a darkish reddish orange almost. Or if you really wanted to get fancy, you could draw green mama and all the babies.
Mm-hmm.
Although, do you know that once that mommy does give birth, she does not care for her babies?
They just go on their own, stay on the trees.
Mm-hmm. So about every 2 years, she has those 10 to 20 live babies. So they're not eggs, they're live babies. But then they just go on off and they fend for themselves. We'll do a few more of these white diamond scale patches on the skin. And then we'll get to coloring. So you have to choose if you're going to make yours an adult or a young one. And you know, one thing we didn't learn in the books was if the male and female are the same colors, or if there's any difference of the male and female. What do you think?
I bet there's at least some difference. Birds, female and male, are different. Frogs are different.
Mm-hmm. And we learned actually with the frogs, it's the size of their ear sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
That makes it. So it could be that maybe with the emerald tree boas, the females are a little bit smaller. They can be up to 9 feet, and maybe the females are only 7 or 8 feet. I don't know. Let's go ahead. I'm going to color mine to be an adult. So I'm just going to color green all around, being careful not to color in my white scale patches. yellow just to do a little bit of shading. So if you look at our emerald tree boa, you can see it kind of has a little bit of yellow flecks even underneath there, and it's got yellow eyes. So we're just going to do a little bit of yellow around our emerald tree boa to give it a little bit more dimension. Now we're going to use some dark green to actually do some shading in between the coils to give it, again, a little more dimension. Give it that little shadow that you would see in between the coils. Finish up with some shading right along all of the edges here. And our last thing we want to do is we actually want to color our little branch here. So there's a few tricks for making your wood look real. I like to actually start with almost like a little teardrop or like a little shape of a seed, and then you kind of draw lines around that seed. And then you're going to do you can do a little triangle even, and just kind of draw lines around the triangle. And then kind of again shade the outer edges. And then on the interior, just color it in lightly. And again on the other side, you kind of draw like a little seed or a little teardrop and just kind of draw lines that kind of surround it to make it look like the grain of the wood. Although bark doesn't always have grain. But it kind of just gives it a little more dimension and texture. And then you just kind of outline your branch. And again, color it in. There we go. And there we have our emerald tree boa. If you wanted to, you could make yours orange to make it a baby. We're so glad you were able to join us today to learn about the emerald tree boa and even draw with us.
Stay tuned. We're going to 5 more continents to learn about amphibians and reptiles. See you later, everybody.
Bye.
See you later, alligator.
After a while, crocodile.
Who's in the can? Pee, pee, pee. Yeah, the see. Cool in the canopy, the emerald tree